Pepperdine. Pepperdine, if anybody sees him around, criminal, obstruction of justice. Okay.
Now,
go ahead.
I worked with these people for years, and then in dovetailing into the whole Clinton-Bush problem. These people turned on me in 2000, some of them, not all of them, and suddenly disappeared from the radar screen. They didn't want to talk to me anymore. They suddenly decided to back Bush's crypto-fascist, homosexual in the closet, nation-wrecking, Constitution-shredding,
cocaine
snorting,
heroin shooting,
AWOL,
like daddy, AWOL, piece
U.S.
of
Treasury embezzling for president.
Hug theft. Oh, we can't forget that because I did report on it.
Now, that means you got to be careful who you deal with because these people. But the problem we have, as I explained, they got the country cranked up into believing in this Republican-Democrat crap. Folks, there's no difference between these two parties at all. It's all scripted.
Hey, I'll tell you what, Tom, you're absolutely right. And I saw this morning, I was up at 3:30 this morning. I was woke up after about 5 hours of sleep, unusual. I'm up this morning. I'm turning on the local news because I don't have cable or anything like it. I got local news. I'm looking at it. I'm looking at the Stooge games. You know, every 5 minutes out of every hour you get something that's, you know, what's the latest? Stooge game. Rush Limbaugh. The future of the Republican Party. Come on, give me a freaking break.
Well, that's all they talk about on the air.
Roger Ailes, Fox News, FUX News, Fox News, FUX, Fox News.
Well, let me explain to you again. They have Fox News and they got MSNBC.
Yeah. The Israeli Mossad controlling us, Millman, Bush, Stooge.
All they talk about is the future of the political parties. Like, who gives a shit?
Who cares about Republicans or Democrats or lesbians or homos? The only reason we mention it is because it's a national security issue. It's because the way they can blackmail a congressman or senator or president or vice president or a judge. Right?
That's correct. We've identified that for a long time. I took a lot of heat for that, but I said this is not an issue of bashing gays or whatever. It's an issue of pointing out that the media and the government is
national security
infected with this group, and therefore, when you have an infection of this nature, people like that are subject to blackmail. And clearly, they've been blackmailed for years because the media hasn't reported any of this criminal activity, which you and I and other thousands of others have reported on the internet.
And the Washington Times did an excellent story about the blackmail congressman, senator involved in Bush and Brownstone and Brown Star and the Washington Post. And what Gunderson, FBI Division Number 5, the Stooges were all involved with him and George, what was his name? The captain's on Indian reservation guy. He goes way back. But Tom, the American people want to do war. I hear it every day on the streets. I hear it from the American people because I test it. I do it intentionally. I crank them up. I check out their vibes on how they feel. I'm in a Republican stronghold right now where I'm at, painting a house, making a living. So the American people here want to take these people to the gallows. And I tell them, not yet. Justice may prevail before that day comes. What can the American people do besides, when you speak of revolutionary councils, we got to get out there like we were back in the 90s. Out there on the streets, Ross Perot for president, Third Independent Party, this sort of action. What does the American people need to do today? Do they need to get duct tape to wrap their hands up for duct tape, that is handcuffs, and then shut them up as you take them to the gallows? Or do they need to figure out a way to overthrow the Justice Department and make it clean and legal
so we can have justice back in the courts in America, and we can bring these criminals to trial. What's it going to take, Tom?
I've explained many times to what it's going to take. I just explained it. You have to set up revolutionary committees, and you have to set up revolutionary councils. And once you do that, you reach out to your local law enforcement. The understanding is clear of what has been done to our Constitution by these...
For the purpose of arrest, right? Reach out to them for the purpose of arresting these people, correct?
You get a local mayor that is enabling illegal spying on the American people, or a local congressman that is doing that.
Red Squad units. They were set up under Bush.
Or advocating taking your guns away, or advocating more criminal activity when it comes to enabling these banks that have been looting the country. You start having the local law enforcement arrest them. Arrest them and charge them. And you do this on a local, state level.
And we can do in masses, like 100 people at a time, go in and grab these bastards and start taking them in for charges. All 100 of them sign up. The cops have to take the charge. It's like somebody trespassing across your lawn, and you call the cops, and they arrest the guy for trespassing. Same difference, except you do it on the basis they broke the law. They upheld an oath. They said they would do their job, and they're not doing it. And they broke and violated the Constitution of the United States. So therefore, we have the legal right to arrest them under the Declaration of Independence, correct?
That is correct.
So that's what we need to do. And Chris, I'm going to ask you to extend it for 5-10 minutes. Like Tom gives us a detailed answer.
I can't do that tonight. I have to.
Do we need to expose anything else regarding the banking system?
I just exposed all of it, dealing with Norway and Sweden and the park money. I've exposed it. The $2.13 trillion bond that was issued through Canada. So I think it's all out there. So I want to thank you, Stu and Chris, for in being part of this program tonight. And we'll
close with our friends who have been dedicated for our freedom and the George Washington Lafayette Agreement that said we help each other, we keep each other free. I love the words, ladies and gentlemen, let the impure blood of those tyrants and kings flow in the world.